Hi, thanks for joining me for the Sleep More, Weigh Less video and the big question about why sleep is so important, especially for weight loss. And the answer is that sleep impacts our hormones. Now in this video I won't be sharing about the well-known sex hormones like estrogen and testosterone, but because there are so many other hormones to cover in this short amount of time that have a far more direct impact on our weight. The truth is that nearly every hormone in the body is released in response to our circadian rhythm, also known as our wake-sleep cycle. And sleeping 7 to 9 hours every night is an absolute must to keep our hormone levels in a healthy balance. Now, some people claim that they do just fine on 5 to 6 hours of sleep, but the published research would seem to disagree, and I'll share a handful of those research findings in this video. Okay, so we've established that sleep is vital to weight loss because it impacts our hormones for better or for worse, like a ton of bricks. But why should we care about hormones in a weight loss program? Because the answer is they are actually key to weight loss. So in a nutshell, hormones are the chemical messengers that play a vital role in regulating all body functions, including hunger, appetite, food intake, fat storage, fat burning, metabolism, as well as our response to stress. And a little side note here, stress and its unique role in weight gain is the subject of another video I did. So if you're stressed, and frankly, who isn't these days, keep your eyes peeled for that. Because after all, knowledge is power for conquering and maintaining our weight. So circling back to hormones, here's a quick explanation of the top 3 major hormones that most directly affect our weight: leptin, ghrelin, and insulin, and what each of these do in relation to our weight. So first up is leptin, the hormone best known for giving us that feeling of being full. It helps our body monitor energy needs, and high levels of leptin usually suppress hunger unless leptin gets out of whack by lack of sleep. And so what it does is it signals the brain to reduce appetite and burn more calories. The next up is ghrelin, responsible for that growly tummy feeling. It encourages the desire to eat. So as you might have guessed, the levels of ghrelin are much higher, and we're therefore much hungrier when we're sleep deprived. So have you ever noticed that bagels and muffins are harder to resist on mornings when you've slept poorly and you wake up feeling exhausted? And also when we're tired, maybe we feel like our stomach is a bottomless pit. We're snacking all day long but never truly satisfied. So abnormally high levels of ghrelin are responsible for this. And the third hormone is insulin, which is responsible for blood sugar regulation, transporting energy into muscle cells, and storing fat. So when insulin is functioning properly, it changes our food into energy and moves that energy into muscle cells. But when we're sleep deprived, insulin ends up storing that energy in fat cells instead of muscle, and this can lead to insulin resistance and weight gain, particularly around our midsection. And sadly, this puts us at an extremely high risk of deadly diseases like diabetes, heart disease, stroke, and metabolic syndrome, to name a few. There are lots of published studies on how sleep affects hormones and weight. For instance, in one study, people who got 4 hours of sleep had significantly increased levels of ghrelin, the growly tummy hunger hormone, and decreased levels of leptin, the I feel full hormone, compared to those who got ample sleep. So in addition, several studies have also indicated that sleep deprivation affects food preferences. So sleep deprived individuals tend to choose foods that are high in calories and carbohydrates. Because when we're overtired, our brain's reward center revs up and it's looking around for some feel-good food. So while we might be able to resist food cravings when we're well rested, our sleep deprived brain may have trouble saying no to mac and cheese and a slice of cake. And research tells the story. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that when people were starved of sleep, late night snacking increased and they were far more likely to choose high carb snacks. Another study found that inadequate sleep prompts people to eat bigger portions, thereby increasing weight gain. And in a review of 18 studies, researchers found that a lack of sleep led to increased cravings for high-carb foods. So you add it all together, and a sleepy brain appears to crave junk food and also lacks impulse control to say no. But wait, there's more. Researchers also wanted to know if sleep increases metabolism. Now, metabolism is the process by which the body converts what we eat and drink into the energy we need to survive. And all of our collective activities, from breathing to exercise and everything in between, is part of metabolism. And I bet you guessed it, lack of sleep slows metabolism and ample sleep increases metabolism. And researchers found that when dieters cut down on sleep for 14 days, the amount of weight they lost from stored fat dropped by a whopping 55%, even though they ate the same calories. So seriously, the same calories were eaten, but a reduction in fat burning of 55%. Pretty shocking, right? They also reported feeling hungrier and less satisfied after meals, and their energy was zapped. Researchers say this is because sleep deprivation makes you metabolically groggy, and that too little sleep hampers your metabolism and contributes to weight gain. Now, some other hormones which also play important roles in body function, weight, and sleep are cortisol, also known as the stress hormone, which can help control blood sugar levels, regulate metabolism, as well as many other functions. But a lack of sleep triggers a cortisol spike. And the result of a cortisol spike, you ask? Well, basically, we're more apt to hang on to stored fat instead of burning it for energy. Melatonin, which we all know is the sleep hormone that helps us fall asleep and stay asleep, it also controls more than 500 gene expressions in the body. So talk about an MVP for multitasking, right? Our thyroid hormones regulate the rate at which calories are burned. So if we don't sleep well, this can cause our thyroid to slow down, which can affect our metabolism by slowing it down. And the last hormone I'll share about today is human growth hormone, which not only plays an important role in building muscle cells and repairing tissue, HGH also affects how and where our body fat is stored, especially the dangerous visceral fat accumulation around the stomach area. The majority of the production of HGH and release happens during, you guessed it, sleep. So the bottom line is it's important to get a good night's sleep on a regular basis for optimal hormone regulation. Now, this includes sleeping long enough and deeply enough for rapid eye movement or REM sleep. So light sleep or sleep that's frequently interrupted just won't do the trick. Deep sleep is like nutrition for the brain. It cleans out the brain's toxins like a power cleanse. And poor sleep is actually linked to poor mental health and mental disorders, believe it or not. And I discuss a bit more about that on another sleep video, which is on my website, where I share more about the overall health benefits of sleep. Now, in this video today, I'm exploring how sleep specifically affects our weight. So to wrap things up in a tidy bow, hormone regulation is essential for just about every bodily process, especially and including our weight. The truth is, it's very difficult to lose weight and keep it off if you don't practice getting good sleep. Now, I emphasize practice because there are several things that we can do to make sure we're getting the most Z's. So be sure to check out my video on tips for getting a good night's sleep and download my cheat sheet for these tips and put some into practice. Because the good news is we can train our body and brain to sleep longer and deeper. So incorporating a few of these tips will help you tremendously.